Hello everyone and welcome to my book nook where I talk about all things books. Today I'm going to be doing the mid-year freakout tag. This is a tag that it's like one of the first videos that I did for my channel, I believe. It was definitely one that I was very excited to make. I've made, I think, 2 or 3 of these on my channel, which is crazy to think about. Like previously, and this is one of my favorite videos to watch, like each year. It's just, a mid-year check-in point of like getting to like go back and look at all the video, like the books you've made and the progress and where you're sitting and whatnot. And I am actually filming this on the last day of June, so it kind of like feels like really accurate in terms of like I am at the midway point of when I'm filming this and like uploading, but like this will be probably going up in like a week or so after filming this. But I have all of the questions pulled up on my laptop beside me, so I will be looking down at this. I am going to be using the version that Gavin from Gavin Reads It All. I'm going to be reading the version like of the questions that he has made, just because that tends to fit with the questions that like work for me. There are 3 videos, three questions like at the end that he typically does that I will not be doing this year simply because I just relaunched my channel. I don't have that many videos that I've already made, so I can't really talk about like how well they've done because as of filming this, only 2 videos are live on my channel right now. I just filmed another video, so that one is filmed, but it's not edited or uploaded or anything like that. And then I have another one that's in the works, so that's definitely not up. And so this is like the 3rd video, like as of right now, I only technically have 2 videos on my channel right now. Granted, I do have many more that are hidden. 2 of them may come back out of the archives later. But that's, we'll get to that at the end. But yeah, if you don't know what it is, this is a tag that was created years ago that people just, a lot of booktubers like to do and whatnot. I thought there was like an author mid-year check-in one, but if I don't know for a fact if there is or not, and if there isn't, I'm definitely making one for next year. But yeah, I don't want to keep rambling. This video might be long enough as is, so we're just going to jump into it. So the first question is, how has your reading year gone so far? And it's actually gone really good. I'm going to my Goodreads right now, and I gave myself a goal of 25 books. And the 25 books was, so that way it's roughly 2 books a month. For me, that's extremely doable. It's low enough that I can still prioritize my writing and whatnot, and not like stress about it. Cause like I've previously done like 100 books and like I hit that goal, but like there's always something in the back of my brain that's just like, oh my gosh, you're not gonna hit your goal, which is it's a stupid thing. So I've just like started like going low, and 25 is just really nice. So that's what I have right now is just 25 for my goal. I have absolutely crushed that. I have 109 books that I have read or attempted to read so far this year. And the reason why I put that little qualifier in there is because I mark DNFs on Goodreads. Because if I've gotten 5% through or 25 pages, whichever one like I hit first by the time I DNF, like I will count it. So like if I DNF a book at 5%, I count it. If I count a book, if like it's 18%, or like not 18%, if it's 18 pages, even if it's only like 1 or 2%, it's still 18 pages if I'm deciding I'm DNFing it. That one I won't necessarily count as a DNF, but if it's 25 pages, absolutely. Just because like if I'm reading like 1,000-page book, 25 pages is like nothing in terms of percentage. But sometimes you just know 25 pages in that book's not for you, whether it's the writing style or the characters or the plot or whatever. Like, yeah, if you know, you know. So for me, either 5% or 25 pages, whichever comes first, is like my minimum. Obviously, I can DNF. I have DNF'd books, I think, with like 50 pages left before. As awful as that is, simply because I just realized I didn't care anymore. Like I lost interest in it, and it happens. And so there was nothing wrong with the books. I just, stopped reading them. And, it's very freeing to DNF books. But yeah, my reading has been going great. And I did go through and count. And with the, like, counting DNFs in the books that I've actually read, I still have actually read over 25 books. So even if I took out all of my DNFs, I still would have read over 25. So it all works out in the end, too. So next question is, what is the best book you have read so far in 2024? I had a few options for this. And there are some books that are on my shelves still that like may surprise some of my friends to hear that they're not in these stacks of books that I'm going to talk about. But my best book that I have read so far in 2024 is actually Four Ruined Realms by May Corland. The reason why. So this is a sequel. It's not the first. It is a sequel. I loved the first one, loved the second one. This second one, the ending broke me. If you go back, even if you don't watch the full thing, there is like a 2-minute clip. It might be 4 minutes, but I'm pretty sure it's like a 2-minute clip. And like the middle of my hour-long, like month in the making TBR vlog, there's a like 2-minute clip that I made right after I finished this, where you can just see my brain struggling to just function. It's just that words. It's basically that. It was so funny. I sent it to 2 of my friends afterwards, and they were just dying. And one of them, as a result, was like, I need to read that, just because of my reaction to it. So it takes a lot to get me to react to books, especially that strongly. And like with that strong of a reaction, I had to choose this. Like there's no question about it. Like the visceral reaction that I had to reading this book. I have read amazing books. Like I have so many good books that I am so excited to talk about. And I have some amazing books that are still on my bookshelves that I'm also not talking about. But like there's just something about this one and this ending. It just broke me. And I absolutely, and as an author, like that is like to me, that is like one of the biggest like forms of a compliment someone could tell me is like my book broke them, because you just feel something so viscerally. But yeah, this is Four Ruined Realms. This is the second one in series. Absolutely stunning book. The end pages are the same on both sides. Beautiful. Listen, Red Tower, they make gorgeous books. Okay, you can't deny it. Their first editions are beautiful. But this is the second book. But basically, the first book, at least I can tell you, is 6 unlikely people pair up and they all team together to basically try to kill the king, and it's a romantasy. And there end up being 3 couples. You pretty much know almost immediately who the 3 couples are as you meet the characters. But it's great. I absolutely loved it. Like, it's great. I highly recommend. And to my friends that said they were going to read this and haven't read it yet, read it, because the third book in this trilogy, the last book, is coming out as I'm filming this in 15 days. Like, it is coming out, and I'm going to be screaming about the third one, so you need to catch up. So yeah, this is the best book that I've read so far. Yeah, I'm really curious to see if the third one tops that or not. What is the best book you've reread so far in 2024? And honestly, I was going through my list, and I don't think I've actually reread. Actually, no, I did reread. I reread a few other ones. I think I reread like 4 books. Baby and the Late Night Howlers, Lola and the Millionaires Part 1 and 2. I also reread those. However, this one by far is the best book that I reread. And that is The Nightmare Before Christmas by Sarah Resch. So this book came out in like, I think October, like Halloween-ish time. And then I reread it again in like January, February. And I tabbed it up the second time. So you can kind of, there you go. You can see the tabs. So I tabbed it up. I annotated it me and this book were very intimate. Like these books, like you can see all of, like, do you see that? Like my favorite books, when I go back and annotate them, this is the second book I've annotated. It is a very slow, long process of just me and the book just enjoying our time together and just like really just engaging with the content. And like, I'm not like, oh, I'm highlighting lines because it's the most like literary masterpiece. Like, no, I'm highlighting lines and underlining ones that maybe like have big character moments, or I like the way it was written as an author standpoint, or it just made me giddy. Like I literally have underlined a couple cuss words in this from characters because it was just funny when they happened. The pumpkin scene, if you know about the pumpkin scene. Oh my god, it like I can't help it. I have a Discord which for my books and whatnot, and I may be opening it up to YouTube. Eventually we'll see. I'm trying to figure out how the logistics of that, but I have the pumpkin emoji for Hex from the pumpkin scene. It is so funny. My friends and I die laughing every time about the pumpkin scene, and then there was almost like a pumpkin scene 2.0 and the sequel. And I'm like, dude, I lost it. Like I text my friends and I'm like, you guys. It's great. But like I literally have a line under like a line in here. I think it's page 58, and this is I only know this because of Herkiad, because I was looking for it. Yeah, page 58. Literally, I underlined Halloween is here. That's not a great literary masterpiece, but I knew what it meant. And then we're starting to things are happening. So yeah. This is one of my favorite books like of all time. So technically I could have counted this as the best book I've read, but like this is a reread and I'm trying not to duplicate answers to the best of my abilities in this quest. Holy crud, I've been going for 11 minutes and I'm only 3 questions in. Okay, I need to speed this up. All right. The best manga you've read so far in 2024. Believe it or not, I do actually read manga. And so Assassination Classroom. This is the first one that I'm holding up. I own it. Excuse the state of the book. My child loves this book. She loves to like flip through and look at pictures of mangas. Specifically my husband's Hunter x Hunter mangas. It's really cute. But anyways, I finished reading this series. So it was like volumes, I think like 13 to like the end. The second to last one was by far, I think that was 20. I think there's 21, and which means volume 20 was like definitely my favorite. But this series in general, absolutely love it. Highly recommend that or the manga or like the anime. Both, they're both amazing. What is the best sequel you've read so far in 2024? Well, again, we're not repeating answers, so obviously I'm not going to say The Four Ruined Realms. So I'm going to go with Go Luck Yourself by Sarah Rush. So the first book followed Chris, so the Prince of Christmas, Chris, or Cole. No, sorry, Chris is this one. Cole. So in the first one, in Nightmare Before Christmas, we followed the Prince of Christmas. Yeah, the Prince of Christmas, Cole, and the Prince of Halloween, Hex, and it's their love story. And it's kind of like The Bachelor meets The Nightmare Before Christmas meets Red, White, and Royal Blue. It's great. I absolutely love it. The way it was marketed to me was The Nightmare Before Christmas meets Red, White, and Royal Blue. I saw that and immediately pre-ordered it. I didn't even read the synopsis. That was the fastest I have ever pre-ordered a book, ever. And so, like, I fell in love with it. It was perfect. So when I finished it, I knew there was a second one, I immediately went and pre-ordered the second one. Absolutely loved it. This one is following his brother. So again, another Christmas prince. This one is Chris. And then it follows the Prince of St. Patrick's Day. And this is Locke. So short for Lachlan. And this is their romance. And it's great. It's just, I love it. Like, these are Sarah Rash's, I believe they're like the only 2 adult books that they have created. But I do want to go back and like try their YA. I'm really picky with YA, but I love her writing style, so I definitely want to try. She is becoming an auto-buy author for her adult books. You'll see why later. Anyways, what is a new release you haven't read yet, but you want to? So, I did not buy this, like, I didn't pre-order this one. This is one that I stumbled upon at Half Price Books when I was going to sell my books. This was in their new releases, and it just looked really cute. I love the cover, the end pages, or the sprayed edges that caught my attention. So, I picked it up, and then I read the back, and it was super cute. And this is the Grimoire Grammar School Parent-Teacher Association by Caitlin Rozakis. This came out in May of this year, so it counts, even though I didn't pre-order it. But yeah, these are the sprayed edges. Super cute. But I think it's basically like a cozy fantasy of, following, I think in the description it only says about the mom, but I think both parents are involved. But this mom's kindergartner gets bit by a werewolf, and they're just thrust into a new world, and it just sounded really cute, and I was like, I want to read this, and so I'm actually probably going to be reading that this month. So you know. The next question is, what is the most anticipated book for the second half of the year? So I'm going on to my Amazon pre-orders. And I have a few books. The first book that immediately came to mind, no surprise, is also by Sarah Rash. And that is The Entanglement of Rival Wizards. Yes, The Entanglement of Rival Wizards by Sarah Rash. I believe this is a new adult, like another adult series that she's coming out with. That was like hinted at the, like this was announced in the end of the Go Luck Yourself book. And so I immediately went and pre-ordered that one again without looking. And then afterwards I read it and I was like, oh, absolutely. Like, this is absolutely something I'm so excited for. And then I went and told my friends, and like my friends immediately also pre-ordered that one. So I am so excited. That one gets here on August 26th. Other books that I am excited for are Three Shattered Souls by May Corland. That is the third book in the trilogy. Also really excited for that one. That comes out on July 15th. On December 2nd. These are not in order of when they come out. These are in reverse order of when I bought them, by the way. Then I have The Mating Game by Lana Ferguson. That comes out on December 2nd. I believe it's a spin-off of The Fake Mate, or at least set in the same world. I don't know, but I read that book. Absolutely loved it. That is what introduced me to her books. And I'm starting to work my way through hers as well. So excited for that one. Then I have Mate by Ali Hazelwood. That comes out on October 7th. That one is like a spin-off or like a sequel to Bride by her that I think Bride came out last year. It might have come out earlier this year, but I'm pretty sure that came out last year. Really loved that one. It's paranormal romance. Read it, loved it, absolutely. Immediately pre-ordered that one as soon as I found out. And then we have The Things Gods Break by Abigail Owen. That is the second book in the series. You will see the first book later on, but that one is like, the way it was pitched was Percy Jackson meets the Hunger Games, which is false. It's not Percy Jackson. It's just the Greek gods. And there's a trial, aspect I want to. So I wouldn't say Percy Jackson, but whatever helps get it. Either way, I read the first one, absolutely loved it. So definitely am excited for that sequel. Then the next question is, what is the worst book you've read so far in 2024? And I pulled it up so that I could look at it and give you some stats. But that is The Legacy by Elle Kennedy. So this is book 5 in the Off-Campus series. I read through the first 3 or 4 of them last year, and then basically read book 5 pretty early on in the year. And I was not a fan. So it has a 3.78 rating on Goodreads, which is what it is, but I think it is lower. I think that's on the lower end for this series. Let me check. Yeah, that is the lowest score, or the lowest rating. Yeah, that is the lowest rating for that series, which is not a good sign on Goodreads as a reader, because typically what happens is the further people get into the series, it's because they like it, and so the ratings tend to go up. Did not happen with this one. This is a 20-minute clip. Goodness gracious. I need to wrap this up. Okay. Anyways, there are a lot of people who also voice my opinion, share my opinions on this, but the characters did not feel like themselves. it was basically a series of 4 novellas combined into one, and I struggled. And it is not a book that I'm going to be going back to. It is not a book that I'm going to be buying for my bookshelf. I will be buying at least 2 or 3 of the books in that series for my bookshelves, but that is not going to be one of them. I personally did not enjoy it. I did not think that the characters felt true to themselves. They felt like different people, which is sad because I absolutely love the characters. But you know, it is what it is. It happens. But yeah, that was definitely for me my worst book. The next one is the biggest disappointment of the year so far, which that could count for. However, I'm going to go with Bonded by Thorns by Elizabeth Helen. This is the first in the Beasts of the Briar series, and it has a 3.93 on Goodreads. Yes, I am reading this off of Goodreads right now. I am so disappointed by this book, simply because I was so excited for this book. I had heard amazing things about it. My friends had heard great things about it. We all wanted to read it. And I owned it, and I had heard amazing things. 3.9 is great. And then I started reading it, and I DNF'd it before I think I DNF'd it before she even met the princes. Simply because in the beginning, so it is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and the Gaston equivalent character, he comes back into town after like just being away and proposes to her, and which is fine. The problem is though that she was wishy-washy. She was like, is this what I want, and whatnot, and like, okay, not the worst thing. However, what made that bad, in my opinion, was that before he left town, he carved his name into her arm so she wouldn't forget him. And then he left and hadn't spoken to her for years until he just suddenly comes back and decides to propose. And he forgot he carved his name into her arm. And she remembered it was there, and yet she didn't outright tell him no. And I couldn't get past that. I tried so hard. I couldn't do it. I could not get past it. I've heard it gets great. I've heard like the series only gets better. And I couldn't get past that. I couldn't. I tried. I wanted to, but I couldn't do it. So yeah. We're going to go to the next question. All right. What is the biggest surprise of the year so far? I love this. This is Lights Out by Navessa Allen. So, I am not a dark romance girly. I love more contemporary romance, my fluff, as my friends call it. And so I have a couple friends love dark romance. And the books that I am interested in that are dark romance, I basically send to them, and I'm like, hey, have you heard this book? Have you read this book? Can you vet this book for me? It's basically what happens. So they go through and they read it, and then they tell me whether or not they think I'll like it, because they know my tolerance for certain things. So like the Haunting Adeline series, I think it's called Cat and Mouse, by H.D. Carlton. That series, or duology, is so intriguing to me. I want to read it. However, there are certain triggers and things that happen that I just don't think I can get behind. And I keep wanting to, but I can't. And like Rena Kent, one of my friends, has read many of her books. And we have just established that we do not think Rena Kent is the author for me. Rena Kent is not a Lex author, because of the tropes and how dark things get and stuff like that. So I will, some of these books sound absolutely amazing, but I am also not going to like send myself into a dark place. I'm not going to send myself into a spiral. I am not going to put myself in a reading slump because I read a book that was not for me. However, all that being said, Lights Out was definitely a Lex book. My friends were like, I think you'll like this one. It's dark, but it's also a comedy, which is, it is what it is. So stalker romance as well, which is crazy to say. But it's just one of those books that I went into this wanting to read, I really wanted to enjoy it. However, because I knew it was a dark romance, and I am very particular about my dark romances, I was very hesitant, and then I came out of this super surprised, and I absolutely loved it so much that I bought this book because I read it on Kindle first, and read that first. Like, my friend had it. She was like, "Hey, here's my Kindle. You can read." So I read it on my friend's Kindle, so that way I could know if I liked it or not, because they didn't have the physical copy to send me, or like give me. And so read the first one, loved it. I bought it, and then bought the second one. So that's how much I was very surprised and happily surprised at that. So yes, Lights Out by Navessa Allen. The next question is, who is your favorite new author, either new to you or debut? And I have two options that I'm going to talk about, because the third one I am saving for a future question. So, but they also would very much apply. But that is going to be Devney Perry and Jade Presley. So Devney Perry wrote Shield of Sparrows, and Jade Presley wrote The Neverlist. Again, both of these are by Red Tower. I mentioned this in a previous video. I'm going to mention it again. I get no money. Like, I am not sponsored at all. Like, hello, you can look at my channel. I'm not sponsored. I just am really enjoying their books that they're producing. I am. I'm a sucker. Listen, I like my romantasy, and, you know, for the most part, they are producing a lot of books that I really like. I have not read all of them. I will not read all of them. But the ones that I like, that sound interesting, and I've been reading, yeah, they've been hitting. But The Neverlist, this one follows, it's a poly one between like a civilian girl and basically four kind of princes. And the way, yeah, I guess they are princes. And there's like magic involved, and yeah, it's very light and fluffy and cozy and sorta. But there's also spice. The fact that I just used cozy to describe spice. Listen, it is what it is, okay? Also, can we just appreciate that it's purple? I love purple, but not enough books are purple. It's just, but yeah, these are four princes, by the way, and they're just, listen, I have a type. My type is definitely on this page. I like this book. I will be definitely reading the second one whenever it comes out. I'm waiting for them to announce when the second one is coming out. As far as I know, it has not been announced yet. But when it does, I will be reading it. And then Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. Devney Perry is an author that I have heard about before. I believe from the Indigo Ridge series, or at least that's the first book, or one of the books on the series. Either way, I've heard the name. But this is my first time reading Devney Perry. And I loved this book. I ate this up. The card, it is amazing. The Guardian is amazing. One of the questions that is not on this version that Gavin does, but is one of the old questions, and it is about, like, you know, a new, like, fictional crush or whatnot. I would say the Guardian would probably fall in this. But it is basically a princess bodyguard romance love story, and it's great. I absolutely loved it. I'm so excited for the second one. Yeah, this is another one that and then also just, like, look how pretty this book is. Like, those end pages, like, not gonna lie, like, and then the end pages, the book is stunning. When I say Red Tower knows how to make really pretty first editions, they know how to make really pretty first editions. Ace, don't lick my book. Oh, you son of a nutcracker. No! Why would you lick it? Oh my, I'm going to... Apparently don't put your books on the grounds where your dogs can lick them, because apparently they'll lick them and then start destroying them. Oh, okay. Detour. Back to the questions. All right. What a book has made you cry so far? As I previously said, it takes a lot to make me feel pretty much any emotion while I'm reading. I don't know why. Maybe it's my neurodivergent brain. But as far as I can recall, and I went through and I looked through my Goodreads of all the books that I read, I don't think I have cried reading any book this year. Unless it's like screaming, more so like out of frustration or anger or something like that, but I don't think I've cried. So moving on to what is the most beautiful book you bought this year? So this would also go for the favorite new to you author. This is an author that I have also previously mentioned because I mentioned the sequel, and that is Abigail Owens. So the first one is The Games Gods Play. This is, like I said, the Greek pantheon meets Hunger Games type book or whatnot, following like Hades. So the way what this book is like every 100 years or 1,000 years, I forget how much it is, but every so often the gods basically pick a human champion to fight on their behalf, and whichever human wins, that god becomes basically the ruler until the next games. And Hades decides he's going to participate this year, and he chooses our main girl, and we go through it, and it's absolutely amazing, and I absolutely loved it. But this book is physically stunning. Okay, it's one of those things. So the end pages, do you see the detail or on these edges, like these sprayed edges? Absolutely stunning detail, like just beautiful. And then these end pages, though, I need to know who did this artwork. I can look it up and I will, but like that is stunning. Like I would frame that in my house, like absolutely beautiful. And then the beautiful teal foil. Oh, this book is just absolutely gorgeous, and you cannot convince me otherwise. And if you say it is not pretty, you are lying. You are lying. We all know that this book is stunning, okay? I feel passionately about books, and I'm very dramatic and over the top if you haven't figured it out. Also, my contact keeps moving, and it's driving me insane, which is why we have a lot of clips, like cuts in today's video, more so than, I would like to do. Next question is, what are the books you need to read by the end of the year? So any book that I have pre-ordered that has not come in yet, but will come in, those are all on my priority list because I've got to read it. But before we can get there are 2 books that I have to read that are currently in my hands because I have sequels coming, and I refuse to let myself buy a sequel if I have not read the first one, no matter how pretty it is, no matter if there's a special edition, no matter how excited I am for it. I just can't do it. I also have another rule that I have to at least start the book before the next pre-order comes in, within reason. So it's just basically helping me stay on top of my book. So I can't just like pre-order a book and then I'll let it sit on my shelves for like 3 years. I have to actively be working my way through my books. So first is The Monster and the Last Blood Match by K.A. Lind. So from my understanding, I think the series has previously been independently published, and then was picked up, and they are being given new names. I do not know if the content has changed, like if they edited and whatnot. So I am not reading, because the old versions are available, I think, through like my Libby or KU or something. But because I don't know if things have changed, I don't want to read those versions and make my judgment on this version. So I have this book. I'm going to physically read it, as I've already started, because the sequel comes in I believe October. I've looked it up. I think the sequel comes in October, and then the third and final book comes in April, which, yes, I have already pre-ordered that one as well. Both books are also gorgeous. But if I don't like this book, or if I don't want to continue for whatever reason, or if I just don't want to physically own them on my bookshelves because I have limited space, I have to cancel those pre-orders. So I have to finish that. Same thing, sort of, with this one, The Striker by Anna Wong. I absolutely love Anna Wong. Just her books are, I vibe with her. I love her writing style. They're great. And I collect a lot of her, she's up here. I collect her other books. So her Kings of Sen series, I collect those. I'm working my way through those as well. But this is a new series, and the sequel comes out. And look, there's art. And it's got the foil. It's so pretty. Which, like, also the fact that there's like art in a paperback is just like, I love it. Like, this is the first one that I have like that, and absolutely love it. But I have to read this before the sequel comes in. I absolutely know that I'm going to love her books because I love it. Actually, correction, I have a second series that I also bought up there. But that series is already completed, so like I could just buy those books, whatever, and I don't have to worry about reading them before prequels come in or sequels come in pre-orders. But this one, I have to read this before the sequel comes in, or I have to cancel the second one, and then I can rebuy it after I read this one, because I know I will. But it's more so a matter of principle of like, do not buy books until you read what you have. This is a way of keeping myself accountable. If you don't have a system yet in place, I highly recommend it. I can tell you more about mine in the comments below or another video if you are interested. But yes, I definitely have to read both of those by the end of the year, because I don't even have until the end of the year. I have until their sequels come in the fall. So those are going to be on my priority list sooner rather than later. Although I think The Defender, which is the second book for the Anna Wong, that one might be coming out at the beginning of next year, so I might have a little bit longer. But either way, I have to read it. And then we're skipping the next 3 questions because they're about videos and how they're doing on my channel and whatnot. And like I said, this is a relaunch of my channel, so don't really have any videos to talk about, but any channel goals by the end of the year. So I definitely want to just continue making videos, having fun, enjoying it, and just seeing where my channel goes. Like, I don't necessarily have super big plans and goals other than just enjoying my channel, enjoying making content, and just having fun, because I missed this in the community, and so I'm really excited for my channel to be back. So yeah, I don't really have any definitive goals right now. I have some ideas, but nothing concrete. But yes, I am so excited to be back. I'm so excited to be making this video. I know this is definitely a longer one, but yes, I'm excited to be back. I'm so excited to read all of these books and talk books with everybody, but we're gonna wrap it up. That is it for this video. If you guys liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, the bell, all the fun jazz, if you want to. If you don't, that's cool too. That is it for this one, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.